So, what if a city's greatest strengths were also the source of its biggest challenges? Well, today we're going to dive into the story of Leicester, a city of really fascinating contrasts that shows us the complicated truth about modern urban growth. See, on one hand, Leicester is celebrated as one of the most diverse and vibrant cities in the UK. It's a real success story. But on the other hand, it's also home to some of the country's most deprived areas. So how can those two things be true at the exact same time in the exact same place? That's the paradox we're digging into. And just to give you a sense of scale here, we're talking about a city with a population of around 370,000 people, with over 500,000 if you count the wider urban area. It's a pretty significant hub, and that density, well, that's a huge part of this story. And the diversity here is just profound. By 2021, get this, over half of Leicester's population identified as non-white British. That makes it one of the UK's first truly plural cities. This isn't just some statistic, it's the cultural backbone of the city. And all of that vibrancy has a massive economic pull. We're talking over 30 million visitors every single year. That's a huge number, right? It's a major engine for the local economy, bringing in hundreds of millions of pounds. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the paradox itself, then we'll look at all the amazing opportunities that came from its growth. After that, we'll flip the coin and uncover the strain that comes with that success. And finally, we'll see how the city is trying to find some balance. Okay, first step, the Leicester paradox itself. Let's start with the bright side of the story. All of those golden opportunities that really power this modern city. To really understand Leicester today, you have to rewind the clock a bit. Back in the 1970s, its whole economy was built on things like textiles and footwear. But when deindustrialization swept through, those industries just collapsed, and tons of jobs were lost. The city had to completely reinvent itself, and it did, successfully shifting into today's powerhouse sectors: retail, logistics, and services. And a huge part of that reinvention was regeneration. Massive investment was poured into the city center, redeveloping these urban spaces to spark economic activity, get more people in, and, most importantly, create jobs. Today, the city center alone supports over 40,000 jobs. Another pillar of its success? Education. Leicester has two universities, De Montfort and the University of Leicester, and together they host over 40,000 students. These students don't just spend money at local businesses. They create this steady stream of skilled graduates for that new modern economy. Migration has also been an absolute game changer. You have these amazing communities with roots in South Asia, East Africa, and Eastern Europe. They've not only enriched the city's culture with world-famous festivals, but have also launched thousands of thriving small businesses, especially in food and retail, which contributes directly to that economic growth. So, that's the success story. But every story has two sides, doesn't it? So now we have to pivot and look at the hidden costs of all this growth. This is the strain of success. The most immediate strain is on housing. The population has just grown so fast that supply can't keep up. The result is that about 20% of households are considered overcrowded. That's a figure that is way higher than the national average. And this housing crunch, it creates some stark inequality. Despite all that economic growth we talked about, a staggering 23% of children in Leicester are living in low-income households. The prosperity just isn't reaching everybody, and it creates these pockets of really deep-seated deprivation. This growth also has a massive physical impact. I want you to think about this number for just a second. Over 100,000 vehicles enter the city every single day. And that number, it leads directly to all of this. Major traffic congestion is just a daily reality. The air quality is poor, with nitrogen dioxide levels often above safe limits, which poses real health risks like asthma. The city also produces over 200,000 tons of waste every year, and its expansion is literally eating into valuable greenfield land. This is the environmental bill for success. Okay, so we've seen the opportunities and we've seen the challenges. So how do you even begin to reconcile these two completely different realities? Well, our final section looks at the city's quest for balance. It all really comes down to this, doesn't it? On one side, you have this diverse economy, successful regeneration, a skilled population, and incredible cultural vibrancy. But on the other, you have the direct consequences: intense housing pressure, deep-seated inequality, awful traffic, and pollution. They are truly two sides of the very same coin. As the source material puts it, the balance between these factors is essential for achieving sustainable urban development. And, this isn't just about Leicester. It's a fundamental challenge for pretty much any growing city in the 21st century. Which leaves us with this final, really critical question: growth versus livability. Does a city have to choose one over the other? Leicester's story shows us there are absolutely no easy answers, and it forces all of us to think about what kind of cities we really want to build for the future.